This video is brought to you by Greater Commons. Greater learning, greater opportunities, greater life. Visit us at greatercommons.com.
We have a basic 3-page web page going, but this is crappy. All of our code, all of our HTML right in there with all of our Go. That's not good organization from programming. It's going to get messy. This page here is designed for Go code, and we have other pages which are designed for HTML. So we should keep our HTML stuff on one page, our Go stuff in another. So that's what we're going to do when we use templates. So I'm going to show you what templates are. But a template, I'll just give you a little description. A template's like a form letter where it's like insert first name here, insert last name, right? And then you run that against a bunch of pieces of data, like a bunch of records in a database. And it prints out one letter for Todd, one letter for James, one letter for John, right? And just fills in the data where appropriate. It's a template. Does that make sense? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to learn how to use templates. And so I'm going to copy this folder here, 12. I'm going to make it 13. And then inside there, I just have this temp folder file. We don't need that anymore. I'm going to get rid of that. All right, so now I'm going to create a new folder, templates, a new directory called templates. And in templates, I'm going to create a file, just a regular file. And that file is going to be index.go.html. So you could give this an extension, not give it an extension. You can call it .php, call it .asp. You can call it .php ASP. You could call it my grandmother's house. You can call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. This is just programming. You're not operating within the restrictions of a lot of the other languages. This is like a file. You're going to open the file. You're going to read the contents of the file. And you just tell the program, hey, this is the name of the file, and it'll do it. Okay, cool. So Go HTML is the convention, though, okay, for templates. So index.go.html, and then I could use Emmet, just exclamation point, and tab. And I've associated my editor to know that Go HTML files are HTML files. And so it drops all that HTML in there. And then index, right, and then I could put here, you are at index, and then I could do an anchor tag, and this one will go to about, and then I want one to be index, and then I want one to be contact. So this is like what we had before, but I'm just putting it all here. Now I could copy this, paste it, and oh, I forgot to put in my breaks. BR. And now I'm going to copy that and paste it and just call this one about, and copy that again and paste it and call it contact. And then I'll change about contact. This one's contact. And I'm just, changing these so it shows us which we're at. And about. All right, so we've got index, we've got about, and we have contact. Cool. Close them all. Those are my templates. And then over here in my code, I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. So I'm going to just highlight all that and by. All right, that's where we had the HTML before, and highlight all this and by, and highlight all this and by. And so just take a moment and look at this. If you're watching this video online, and by the way, if you want to find our code, you go to GitHub, Golang goes to 11, Golang Web Dev, there's the URL. And we're working out of 00temp 46 Spring 17 is where we're at in Golang Web Dev. And by the way, you probably want to follow me on Twitter if you're not doing so already, because I am all about Go. Strangely enough, this is what I do for a living, and I love it. And it's pretty cool that I ended up here. And I don't know why Twitter's not coming up. Twitter's busted. So here I am on Twitter, and that's where you find me on Twitter. And like today, I put up this cool thing about concurrency and parallelism 13 hours ago. And guess which one is Windows? That's pretty fun. The one with the blue screen of death.
Yeah.
So It's fun. All right, so now to do templates. Let me think about this. Well, we were talking about, so if you're watching this video online, just pause this here for a second, just look at this, and if you're in the classroom, look at it, and let's make sure we understand it. All right, so we want to use templates, and over here at the documentation, there's text template. And so that's one place where we see documentation for templates. You can see I'm at package, text template. But there's also HTML template. And you might think, well, hell, I want HTML template. You do. You want an HTML template, but everything in HTML template is built on top of text template. So HTML template, package HTML template, is everything that text template is, plus stuff for HTML, right? And so to understand how to use templates, we look to both text template package, and we look and see, okay, how does that work here? And then we also look at HTML template, right? So here we have templates, parse files, parse glob. And if we parse glob, we give it a pattern, and it gives us back a pointer to a template and an error. And with a pointer to a template, we have all these methods, because look, there's the receiver, right? Pointer to a template. So if you have a type pointer to a template, a value of type pointer to a template, you have all these methods. Importantly, we have execute template right here. And so that's all very helpful. If we go and we look at HTML template, that's text template. We can see a little bit about HTML template. Come down and look at the index. Same stuff down here, right? Where we have parse glob gives us a pointer to a template and an error. And we have execute template. And there's template must, right? Must. And so I'll show you how that all works. So there's another function that's a primary function, and that's called a init. And that's my word, primary function. Primary in the sense like main's pretty primary. That's where your program runs. A init is going to do any setup for your program. It initializes your program. And I'm going to create a variable up here. I'm going to call that variable TPL, and it's going to be of type template from package template. So this is type pointer to a template from package template. And now it's saying, hey, you want to import this type? And I do, and I want to grab it from HTML template. So it just brought in this package, and now I'm going to use code from that package. And I'm creating a variable TPL, which is of type template, pointer to a template from package template. Okay? And so that's my variable here, and here's type template. And it's going to be a pointer to a template because that's what you work with. Okay, so you're just learning kind of how you set it up. And now I want to assign to this, and you could think of this, a value of type pointer to a template, like a bucket. It's like where all of your templates get stored. So TPL is equal to template must, okay, and then I'm going to do template parse glob, and so I'm using parse glob right here, and it takes a pattern and gives me back a pointer to a template and an error. So I'm going to give it a pattern, and my pattern is going to be into, and that pattern is a string. So I'm going to go into, from my root, which is, this is my root area, go into templates. I could try it like this. Go into the templates folder, and then star.goHTML. Parse, a glob is like a bucket of junk. If you look up glob, that's like a comp sci term. Glob, define, comp sci. Glob, programming, Wikipedia. In computer programming, in particular in Unix-like environment, glob patterns strictly specify sets of file names with wildcard characters. So glob is a bunch of file names. For example, Unix command move star.txt to this area moves all files names ending in .txt from the current directory. All right, so star is the wildcard standing for any string of characters, and star.txt is a glob pattern. So it's no surprise that they're using stuff like this because the guys who created Go are also some of the same guys who helped create Unix. Whoa. All right, they created UTF-8, Unix, and C. These are heavy hitters. And so here we have template parse glob, and we pass in the pattern, and that gives us back a pointer to a template and an error. Okay, let me see if I can get this on the same screen. So template from package template parse glob, package template parse glob, and I give it a string. What does that return? What's it return? Returns two values of what type? Parse glob returns two values of what type? Pointer to a template and an error. This is going to return right here, pointer to a template and an error. What does must take? What does must take as arguments? Must takes a pointer to a template and an error. Well, parse glob returns a pointer to a template and an error, so this runs, returns a pointer to a template and an error, which is just exactly what must was. And then must just gives me a pointer to a template. So must is a helper function that checks my error. If I have an error, it just shuts my program down. We're done, right? Here, must is a helper that wraps a call to the function and panics if the error is non-nil. It shuts me down. That's what panic is. Like, ah! Shuts me down. So I'm able to do parse glob and then must and then assign that to TPL. And I put this up here so it's at package scope. So I can now use that all the way throughout my program. So instead of this line, TPL execute template, because when I have a value of type pointer to a template, I have execute template, which takes a writer, the name of the template, and any data and returns an error. So template, it takes a writer, the name of the template, and any data. I'm going to pass in nil. I'm going to copy that line, come down here and paste it, come down here and paste it. And this one's going to be contact.goHTML, and this one's going to be about.goHTML. And that corresponds to those three files. So I'm saying, you know what? And look at how much cleaner that is than having all my junk HTML in the same folder. And this page here is designed to work with Go code. So I can get all my Go formatting and linting and code completion. And these pages are made to work with HTML, so I get all my HTML help and Emmet. But now, right, var TPL up at the package level scope, so it's available to all these functions. And then when I initialize, when my program runs, I parse all of my files. Parse just means kind of go get them and get them ready, read them into the program. I assign that to TPL, and then down here I say execute a template, execute index.goHTML, and write it here. Execute about, and write it here. And so when I run this, it's all small again. You guys see that? Who's your daddy? Questions?
If you wanted to incorporate CSS like an external style sheet that you have, do you link to the style sheet in the Go document, or do you have to link to it in each of your HTML documents?
So that to include CSS as an external style sheet is a more involved answer, because now we're serving files right? We're not just doing a template where our Go program parses the template and says, here, it's ready to be used. We're now serving files because the execute template serves that template to the client. The client gets that template, and then in that template, there's going to be something like this, which is, right? And it'll be like,
Okay.
something like that, and it's going to say, give me that file. Now we have to serve a file back. So we have to learn all about file servers before we do that.
Gotcha.
So for now, all of your CSS, here. Until we learn how to serve files.
Okay.
And that's just a big line chunk of code that you'll be like, okay, I'll just copy and paste that in. Good question. Great question. So if I wanted to here, I could put in, HTML and font size 48 pixels. And I can make all that big and drop that into each of mine. Control C to stop it, up arrow to restart it, enter, up arrow for the last command, enter, come back here, Command Shift R to refresh. So I was doing too quick before. Some people are like, how is yours automatically refreshing? I was like, no, that's me. Let's do it quick. How many people think that's awesome?
Cool. That's pretty cool.
You want to take it to the next level of awesome? So before we do that, and I'll do the next level of awesome in the next video, but before we do that, you need to code all of this by next Wednesday. So a little bit of a review. Step number 1, listen and serve. Right? And your tools, so I'll just do a little review here. New directory, 14. And a new file, main. Step 1, HTTP listen and serve. And then it tells me you need an address and a handler. :8080 and nil. Okay? And then I'm just going to do HTTP handle func. And I give it the pattern and the function. And that function needs to have a response writer and a pointer to a request. Because web servers receive requests and they write responses. And this function index is what will handle this route, which is why it's called a handler. This is the code that's going to handle this route. It's the handler. It's like some Luc Besson movie called The Handler. You know Luc Besson movies? Oh, dude. You've never watched La Femme Nikita? Best movie.
You just sound funny saying it. I just figured it must be funny.
I'm going to show you the trailer to La Femme Nikita as soon as we're done here. It is like one of my favorite movies when I was young. I thought that movie was awesome. So we just did that, right? And then we have to set up our tip. So you guys make a flashcards, a stack of flashcards, and put 1, 2, 3 on them. Step 1 is HTTP listen and serve. So front side, step 1, back side, HTTP listen and serve. Step 2, HTTP handle func, right? And the route, and then the function name. Step 3, a function with response writer and a pointer to a request. And this is all from package HTTP. That's 3 steps. Write them on index cards. I want you to come in and be able to hard code this from nothing. Practice it every day. What's up?
What did you call the in handle func? What are, it calls for a route and a
Route and a function. And that function is step 3, where it takes a response writer and a pointer to request. Step 4 is var tbl Pointer to type template from package template. Type template from package template. And we're going to bring in HTML template. Okay. Step 5 is func-init. It runs at the beginning of your program once, initializes your program. Step 6 is TPL is equal to template must, template parse glob, pattern. It's from my template folder, and it's star.go HTML. That's step 6. And so then I need to create my folder over here. Step 7, tpl.execute template writer index.go HTML and nil because I'm not passing in any data. So in here I didn't put in Gazoon type.
Thank you.
Index.go HTML. Emmet, exclamation point tab. Index. And here you are at index. And maybe a little bit of making it bigger. Control C to stop it. Change directories. Go run main. So, like 7 steps. Gotta know it by next class.
You want us to bring in the flashcards?
Bring in the flashcards. I want to see them. Thank you. Okay? And every day when you wake up and you're brushing your teeth, look through them. When you're eating lunch, look through them. When you're going to bed and you're brushing your teeth, look through them. When you're waiting for a class to start, look through them. Waiting for the bus, look through them.
How about when you're pooping?
When you're pooping, look through them.
Just kidding, y'all.
Everybody poops.
I know.
It's a good time to look through them. Okay? If you're not pooping, you better go see a doctor.
I was just
You got
telling a
something
friend
wrong.
that there's something wrong if you don't everything. He's like, for real? Anyways, that was funny.
What about main? Oh, you're just looking at it. All right. I'm going to blow your mind in the next video or show you something cool.